Good evening, and welcome to your AI Daily Press evening podcast for May 4, 2025. Firstly, we've been following the situation with detained civilians in Ukraine, where a landmark agreement has been reached between the United States and Ukraine to share revenues from future mineral sales. This deal marks a major breakthrough in their negotiations, signaling a long-term commitment to a free and sovereign Ukraine. The agreement establishes a reconstruction investment fund with equal voting rights between the two countries. In another development, former U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris delivered her first major speech since leaving office, urging Democrats to fight back harder against the policies of President Donald Trump. She warned that Trump's administration is implementing a decades-old right-wing policy agenda with high velocity, which includes slashing public education and privatizing government services. Lastly, we reported on the plight of detained civilians in Ukraine, where we urged all parties involved to prioritize their release and work towards a peaceful resolution that addresses the human cost of this conflict. These stories highlight the complexities and challenges facing both domestic and international politics. As the situation continues to unfold, we'll provide ongoing coverage and analysis on the AI Daily Press. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you again soon. That's all for tonight. Now, for the latest in social and cultural news, here is Barbara Waters.
Thank you, Walter. Firstly, we've been following the May Day celebrations, also known as International Workers' Day, which took place on May 1st. In France, this day holds special significance, with it being the only day that, by law, must not be worked. We saw thousands of people gather in Paris to demand better working conditions, more job protections, and a stronger social safety net. In other news, we've been tracking developments in the global economy, particularly in Japan, where the Bank of Japan has decided to hold interest rates steady amidst growing uncertainty. This move is seen as a response to the tariffs imposed by U.S. President Donald Trump, which have been causing ripples in markets around the world. Finally, we're keeping an eye on the world of cybersecurity, where reports are emerging that Chinese hacking competitions are fueling the country's broad cyber ambitions. These competitions attract top talent from around the world and have significant implications for global cybersecurity. These stories remind us that the struggle for workers' rights is a global one, and that the gains we've made so far are not inevitable, but rather the result of hard-won battles by working people getting together. As we mark May Day, we're reminded of the power of solidarity and the importance of continuing to fight for a more just and equitable society. That's all for tonight. Thank you for joining us on the AI Daily Press Evening Podcast. We'll be back with more news and analysis tomorrow. Now, for the latest in business and finance, here is Louis Riskweiser.
Thank you, Barbara. Firstly, we looked at the recent earnings reports from major companies such as Carrier Global Corporation and Xerox Holdings Corporation. The key takeaways were the importance of diversified portfolios in navigating market fluctuations, the need for innovation and adaptability, and the effective cost management. These themes will be crucial to monitor as the earnings season continues. Secondly, we discussed the Bank of Japan's decision to maintain its benchmark interest rate at 0.1% due to intensified uncertainties caused by U.S. tariff measures. The BOJ expects inflation to reach its 2% target around the second half of its outlook period, but has halved its economic growth projection for this fiscal year. This cautious approach will be closely watched by investors and policymakers worldwide. Lastly, we touched on the broader implications of the BOJ's decision for the global economy and financial markets. With the U.S. Federal Reserve and European Central Bank facing similar challenges in navigating monetary policy amidst trade tensions and slowing economic growth, it's essential to stay informed about these developments. As I always say, a wise investor is like a navigator who charts their course carefully, taking into account the winds of change and the tides of market sentiment. Now for the latest in science and technology, here is Carl Starman.
Thank you, Louis. Firstly, we explored the discovery of a massive cloud of gas, known as ESO 137-1, which is plunging into the heart of the galaxy cluster, Abell 3627. This phenomenon is providing scientists with valuable insights into the formation and evolution of galaxies. Next, we delved into the mystery of Ophion, a young star cluster that's behaving unusually. Using data from the Gaia Space Telescope, researchers have identified several possibilities for Ophion's erratic behavior, including energetic events and interactions with nearby massive gatherings of young stars. Lastly, we discussed the search for exoplanets, highlighting the various methods used to detect these distant worlds, such as the transit method, radial velocity method, and direct imaging. With cutting-edge technology like the James Webb Space Telescope, scientists are making groundbreaking discoveries, including capturing stunning images of giant planets orbiting nearby stars. These stories showcase the awe-inspiring complexity and dynamic nature of our universe, reminding us that there's still so much to explore and discover. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the cosmos. Until next time, keep looking up at those stars and wondering about the magic that lies beyond our planet. Good night. Now for the latest in sports, here is Howard Closewell.
Thank you, Carl. First, we took a trip down memory lane with a look at the rich history of sports, highlighting the evolution of various games and their impact on society. We explored how sports have become an integral part of our culture, bringing people together and fostering a sense of community. Next, we dove into the world of football, examining the San Francisco 49ers' chances of bouncing back from a disappointing season. With off-season moves and new draft picks, the team is looking to turn things around and make a push for the playoffs. While projections may not be in their favor, we believe they have the potential to make some noise in the NFC West. Finally, we swung into action with Major League Baseball, covering a plethora of storylines that have been making waves in the baseball universe. From historic starts to thrilling comebacks, we highlighted the Kansas City Royals' young phenom Noah Cameron, the New York Mets community outreach efforts, and the Colorado Rockies' long-awaited 5th win of the season. That's all for tonight's podcast, folks. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the world of sports. Until next time, stay informed, stay entertained, and keep on loving your favorite sports teams. This is Howard, signing off for the AI Daily Press Evening Podcast. Now for the latest in travel and human interest, here is Charles Curel.
Thank you, Howard. First, we took our listeners on a journey to explore the world's beauty through travel, focusing on the extraordinary aspects of ordinary life. We discussed the allure of exploring different cultures and environments, showcasing the human spirit's resilience and adaptability. Next, we delved into the intriguing story of Sherry Papini, a California mother whose disappearance and alleged abduction have captivated the nation for nearly 9 years. A new docuseries trailer has been released, featuring Papini recounting her abduction in her own words for the first time. This complex tale raises questions about human truth, manipulation, and the consequences of one's actions. Lastly, we touched on a unique challenge that has sparked both entertainment value and ethical implications. We approached this story with a critical eye, considering both the potential spectacle and the dignity of all individuals involved. As we close out this evening's edition of the AI Daily Press, we invite you to join us in exploring the complexities of human experience with empathy and understanding. Thank you for tuning in, and until next time, good night. Now for the latest in fashion and entertainment, here is Joan Streams.
Thank you, Charles. Tonight, we're dishing out the latest scoop on entertainment, fashion, and technology. First up, we've got the buzz on Netflix's global top list, where Indian films are making waves. Jewel Thief is a stylish heist thriller that's raking in the views, but some critics say it lacks substance. Meanwhile, Court State vs. a Nobody is tackling serious issues and holding strong on the list. Next, we're talking red carpet fashion, specifically the Aura ring, which just got a major glow-up thanks to Suzanne Cowan's stunning tech ring jacket. These custom-made diamond rings are not for the faint of heart, with prices ranging from $2,500 to $10,000. But, trust me, they're making a statement. And finally, we gave you the lowdown on the upcoming season of RuPaul's Drag Race, where the queens are serving up more charisma, uniqueness, nerve, and talent than ever before. That's all for tonight, folks. Thanks for tuning in to the AI Daily Press Evening Podcast. Until next time, stay fabulous, keep on talking, and don't forget to subscribe to our podcast for more juicy updates. Now for the latest in nature and environment, here is David Attenacher.
Thank you, Joan. Firstly, we reported on the latest developments in jaguar conservation, highlighting the ongoing challenges faced by these magnificent creatures and their habitats. Our investigation revealed that while there are positive signs in conservation efforts, continued support for research protection and sustainable practices is crucial to ensure the well-being of both humans and wildlife. Secondly, we shone a spotlight on the devastating impact of herbicide drift on tree health in the Midwest. Studies have shown that the widespread use of herbicides in farming has led to significant damage to trees, with many species being particularly vulnerable. Climate change is exacerbating the problem, making trees more susceptible to harm and potentially having cascading effects on wildlife populations and the environment. Lastly, we provided an in-depth analysis of the Trump administration's recent environmental policy decisions, which have sparked intense criticism from experts, activists, and world leaders. The withdrawal from the Paris Climate Accords, the freezing of the Greenhouse Gas Reduction Fund, and the dismantling of environmental justice programs have raised concerns about the government's commitment to protecting the health and well-being of all Americans and the planet. These stories underscore the urgent need for continued environmental action, sustainable practices, and responsible decision-making. We'll continue to follow these developments and provide you with updates and insights from experts in the field. Thank you for joining us on the AI Daily Press. Until next time, good night, and let's work together to protect our incredible planet. And that completes our evening podcast for today. Thank you for listening. Until tomorrow morning, I'm David Attenacher for AI Daily Press, the world's most unbiased news source.